As a true sanctuary, we never exploit the animals. We don't breed them, we don't sell them. We are their forever home.
Forest Animal Rescue is an honest, true sanctuary where we do not take animals out in public. We don't breed, we don't sell. Once they come here, they stay here permanently.
There's a lot of places out there that call themselves sanctuaries, but they're not true sanctuaries. And they tell people they rescue animals, but they actually breed and they sell the animals back into the pet trade or back into amusement. These places can exploit the animals for years and years and years, but then when it comes time to rescue them, we get 24 hours or 48 hours. We get no notice. So we have to plan ahead.
When we first started out, we were getting 600-700 calls a year for rescuing animals. The only animals that we don't keep permanently right now are black bears.
We have a 4-acre habitat for our bears to live in. We actually rehabilitate bears for all of the surrounding states as well. We currently have a Louisiana black bear that we're rehabilitating. We bring them in, patch them up, feed them till they're large enough to go back into the wild.
And then take them back where they were found and release them. But everything else stays here permanently and gets permanent, excellent care.
We actually have our on-site veterinary clinic. Our lead veterinarian, Dr. Barry Kellogg, is a board member. We have 13 other veterinarians that we work with, and fortunately we can get most of them to come to our clinic and help us when we need them. It's much safer for the animals to have the clinic on site.
We've had black leopards, we've had Canadian lynx. Those were some of the animals we started out with. We're getting calls mostly for tigers and the big animals that nobody else can care for.
We've rescued tigers from backyard pets in Texas. We had 2 male tigers that were owned by a guy where the tigers were in the backyard starving. And so we were able to go to Texas and pick up the tigers and bring them back to Florida.
Just like Louie, the one little monkey we got out there, that woman paid $19,000 for a monkey and it tore a guy's ear almost off. They're wild animals. The more you put yourself in touch with that animal in situations that aren't out in the wild, you're gonna have it come back and bite you.
People think that a monkey makes a great pet because they see him on TV, and what they don't understand is those are babies. They don't have good moments all the time, and they do grow up and they do turn aggressive and they don't make good pets. We take the monkeys like that and we spay and neuter and we integrate them with the other monkeys of their own kind so they can learn to be a monkey and they have full-time companionship like they're designed to have. And then we give them the largest and most natural space we can give them. We have Egyptian fruit bats. The Egyptian fruit bats came to us from a roadside zoo that was closed. I think 7 bats were smuggled from Cairo, Egypt in a truck full of reptiles. And at one point they had, from those 7 individuals, they had 200 bats. So we wound up being called with no notice and got almost 100 bats and a bunch of spider monkeys and capuchin monkeys and miscellaneous other animals at the same time. The biggest need we have right now is for funding to meet the overhead. It takes about $800,000 a year to run the sanctuary. And we have about 100 animals. More than half of our budget is comprised of things that people didn't think of that we need to do. We'll always welcome all donations, and we obviously honor any restrictions people place on them. But unrestricted gifts are worth twice as much to us because we can pay the things that people didn't think of. Our website is forestanimalrescue.org. Every donation button is on every page. You can give online securely there. We accept planned giving. We accept gifts of stocks and bonds. We accept local volunteers. We love our volunteers. That's how we do most of what we do.
The local volunteers come in and fill in and help. They work hard during the week feeding the animals and doing all the chores that have to be done. And without them, our staff would be overwhelmed.
When there's no pandemic, we have an international volunteer program where people from all over the world can come. They pay in advance for their lodging and meals. We give them lodging. They work full-time right alongside our interns, but they get an in-depth education that they can then take back and share with their zoos or their groups that they're going to go work for doing animal care. We can show them best practices and the way that we do things so we can share it around the world.
We rescued a couple puma from Argentina. The first 3 days here, they wouldn't come near anybody. They wouldn't come up and eat. Lisa and our employee started talking, and they thought about the fact that, hey, they're from South America. And as soon as they started speaking to them in Spanish, they came right up for water and food. It was crazy.
And it takes a while for the animals to recover emotionally and physically and learn to relax in the presence of their caregivers here, that they're never going to be mistreated again. We're usually their last stop. The people have already tried to sell them, they've tried to give them away, they've tried to do everything they can to make money on them, and when they can't, the animals are going to be put down. Usually they're only midway through life and have the rest of their life ahead of them, but they don't get the chance.
I'm Meredith Whitney, Wildlife Rescue Program Officer at the International Fund for Animal Welfare. IFA works in collaboration with Forest Animal Rescue to rescue abused, abandoned, and confiscated wildlife. Forest Animal Rescue meets IFA's high standards of providing refuge and true sanctuary for wild animals that cannot be returned to the wild. That means they don't breed, buy, sell, or trade animals, and that they provide a high standard of lifetime care to the animals that call the sanctuary home. IFA is proud to stand with Forest Animal Rescue, and we hope that you will continue to offer them your support as well.
Seeing the animals come here and be emotionally destroyed when they arrive, and then watching them turn around and thrive for the first time in their lives, it's just so rewarding.